I'm gonna talk about Ultrafine Xtreme. I shot this film in 35mm format. It does come in 120 and a 200 speed variant and a 100 speed variant. Also both in 35 and 120, but I'm gonna talk about the 400. It's the cheapest black and white film money can buy right now. It's like stupid cheap. It's like $35 for a roll of 100 feet for bulk loading, which is really, really cheap. And the film itself has been a subject of a lot of conspiracy theories, which I never thought I'd talk about in a video about 35mm film, but here we are. So a lot of people saying it's like a repackaged Ilford film or a repackaged Kentmere film. I have an example. Here is the packaging that the Ultrafine came in. There's just a sticker on there, but it's all black tube. And here's the packaging that HP5 comes in. Exactly the same thing. So a lot of people are arguing it's separate film stocks or it's a different film stock, just repackaged, but there's no real conclusive evidence as to say it's one specific film stock that's been repackaged. Just from my research online, it's very possible that it is like some kind of Harman film, which Harman is the makers of Ilford films and Kentmere films, but there's no real hard evidence pointing to anything, and the exposure has changed. It's really weird, even to the point where Ultrafine Xtreme 400 comes in green packaging, just like HP5 comes in green packaging. So if they're not made by the same people, they're definitely trying to go for that same look. So enough about the conspiracy theories, let's go to the actual film itself. The name Ultrafine Xtreme is a bit of a misnomer. It is very grainy. Very, very grainy. Luckily, it's not bad grain. It looks really cool. Not cool. Cool isn't the right word. It looks really aesthetically pleasing. The grain isn't messy, and grain is really in right now. I find a lot of people are editing their photos to look like film grain, which, you know, that's your thing, more power to you. But this is grain built right into the film. So if you're looking for a fine grain film, something with a lot of resolution, especially if you're shooting on 35mm, this probably isn't your best bet. You'd want to spend a little bit more to get HP5 or Tri-X or another option that's better for grain. But if you want that grain look, you know, go for it. It looks good. It looks pretty good. So enough about the grain, let's talk about the tones. Tones are good. Tones, there's a good range. Oh, the exposure's changing again. There's a good range between darks and highlights, and the way the film renders different tones is contrasty, but not too contrasty. And it's not super flat either, which makes it a good all-around film. So if you're like a student, I'm gonna put these down. If you're a student or somebody on a budget or somebody that just wants to try out some black and white film, this is a really good option for you. And it's super cheap, so you don't really have much to lose. I think for the project I'm working on, I think it was a good fit that the grain and the look of the film look kind of vintage and retro and has a more timeless quality to it, which, you know, you always want to choose a film stock that's going to fit your needs for the projects that you want to work on. So in conclusion, yeah, if you can't really go wrong with this film, it's not, I wouldn't call it bad by any means. It's just a little unreliable. There has been reports of like the formula switching up because of the suppliers and stuff like that, but I kind of got lucky with this batch. If you do want a consistent look, you might want to go for that. It is so windy. You might want to go for that 100-foot roll and bulk load it into your camera just to make sure it's all the same thing. But, you know, I enjoyed this experience. I was pretty happy with the pictures. So, that's it. That's it.